In this podcast episode, Mel Robbins sits down with David Bach, a personal finance expert with over 30 years of experience, to explore practical strategies for improving financial health. They discuss how millions of Americans struggle living paycheck to paycheck, the importance of having a clear money plan, methods for getting out of debt, and building wealth through smart saving and investing. The conversation also covers navigating life's financial setbacks, automating finances, and breaking common money myths to empower listeners at any stage of their financial journey. David begins by highlighting a staggering fact. 7 out of 10 Americans live paycheck to paycheck. This means most people lack financial cushions and are vulnerable to economic hardships. He reassures listeners that if they find themselves in this situation, they are not alone, and emphasizes the critical need for hope and actionable steps to break this cycle. He acknowledges the difficulty of living this way, having experienced financial struggles himself, and underscores the importance of deciding to change as the first step toward financial freedom. A core theme of their discussion is that either you have a plan for your money or someone else has a plan for it. Many individuals operate without intentional budgeting or saving strategies, resulting in money leaving their hands as soon as it arrives. David stresses the necessity of creating a clear, automated financial plan that allocates money toward essentials, emergencies, future goals, and investments. This plan should align spending with personal values, making decision-making simpler and more purposeful. David introduces the concept of paying yourself first by automatically saving 1 hour of your daily income, roughly 12 to 14% of gross income, into retirement accounts like a 401k or IRA. Automating these contributions removes the friction of manual saving and helps build wealth consistently over decades. For those without access to workplace plans, he recommends opening a Roth IRA and setting up automatic transfers. This practice, he explains, is the foundation of becoming an automatic millionaire and is achievable even on modest incomes by gradually increasing savings rates. Addressing the burden of credit card and other consumer debts, David shares his done on last payment system. This approach involves listing all debts, focusing on paying off the smallest balance first to gain momentum, and then tackling interest rates strategically. He warns against accumulating store cards and cautions about pitfalls with balance transfers and late payments, emphasizing automated minimum payments to avoid fees and rate hikes. He points out that getting out of debt is a process that takes time and commitment, but starting to chip away at it improves well-being immediately. David discusses how the modern economy is automatic in the sense that technology constantly either helps you build wealth or quietly drains your finances through subscriptions and recurring charges. He encourages scrutinizing all expenses, cutting unnecessary subscriptions, and understanding how your phone and various apps can be tools either for gaining financial control or losing it. Being mindful and intentional about where money flows is critical in this digital age. He identifies 2 primary escalators to wealth in America: owning real estate and investing in stocks. These asset classes benefit from favorable tax laws and systemic incentives, making them essential for long-term growth. For beginners, David advises investing primarily in low-cost, diversified index funds, such as the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, VTI, rather than trying to pick individual stocks or trending speculative assets. Real estate ownership, even starting with a modest first home, is portrayed as a key avenue to generational wealth and financial stability. David explains compound interest as the 8th miracle and illustrates its impact by showing how modest daily investments compound into multi-million-dollar sums over decades. He uses the example of investing about $27 daily at a 10% average stock market return to amass over $4 million in 40 years. This example highlights the urgency of starting early, but also the potential for anyone to build wealth through consistent, disciplined investing. Life's unexpected events, such as divorce, widowhood, or job loss, can derail financial plans, and David stresses the importance of preparedness. He encourages individuals, especially women, to stay informed about their finances to avoid being wiped out after such events. He outlines practical steps for organizing financial information, including locating wills, insurance policies, and account details, and recommends conducting money dates regularly, where couples or individuals deliberately review and plan their finances together. David highlights the psychological barriers that keep people stuck, such as shame around debt and fear of starting. He shares how clarity and pain often serve as triggers for change and reinforces that starting small is okay. Saving even 1% initially can build momentum. He challenges common myths, like the idea that earning more automatically leads to wealth, emphasizing that what matters is saving and investing consistently. Ultimately, he urges listeners to make the decision to take control of their money today and begin automating savings, because progress brings hope and empowerment. David acknowledges that listeners will be at different points in life and finances. For younger people, starting with small automatic investments and building emergency funds is crucial, while older listeners can still catch up effectively by increasing savings aggressively. For those who have fallen behind, he reassures that it's never too late to begin and shares an example of a woman in her 50s successfully catching up with an extra $40 a day in savings. He also discusses adapting financial goals to individual circumstances, including how much to allocate to emergency, retirement, and dream accounts. Homeownership is emphasized as a foundational step toward building wealth and breaking cycles of financial insecurity. David counsels listeners to adjust expectations for their first home to something affordable, potentially smaller or in less expensive areas, rather than waiting for a dream home. He recognizes the challenges in pricey metropolitan areas and suggests creative approaches, such as living with family, to save for down payments. Homeownership provides equity and inheritance potential, crucial for long-term financial health. David stresses the critical importance of knowing exactly where financial resources are, especially in the event of spouse death or divorce. He advises maintaining organized, up-to-date records of all accounts, bills, passwords, and legal documents. Planning for these what-if scenarios is a vital but often overlooked part of financial security. Setting up systems such as file folders or digital organizers can make a difficult time more manageable and prevent costly mistakes or losses. Toward the end of the conversation, both Mel and David emphasize the emotional aspects of money struggles, sharing personal stories of loss and hardship. They encourage listeners to give themselves grace, seek support, and foster genuine connections. David advocates for expressing love and appreciation regularly, recognizing that financial freedom is deeply tied to emotional well-being and community. They stress the power of shared knowledge and kindness in helping each other grow financially and personally. Above all, David's message is one of hope through action. He urges listeners to make one tangible change immediately, such as automating a small savings transfer, and to build from there. He offers that real transformation begins with the decision to pay yourself first and to no longer allow finances to be dictated by circumstance. This mindset shift, combined with simple, structured steps, can set anyone on the path toward financial freedom and peace of mind.